The air was thick with tension as the colonists prepared for the unknown. Every day brought new challenges, and the fear of what lay beyond the gateway weighed heavily on their minds. The alliance had grown stronger, built on a foundation of shared knowledge and a common enemy. But with each revelation, the true scope of the threat became clearer and more terrifying. Elia's discovery was a turning point, revealing the true nature of the gateway and the forces that lay beyond it. But with this knowledge came new risks and the realization that their time was running out. The storm was more than just a weather phenomenon, it was a sign of the gathering forces on the other side of the gateway. The colonists knew that they were on the brink of something monumental, and the storm was the harbinger of what was to come. The leaders of the colony were faced with an impossible choice: to continue their preparations and risk everything, or to abandon their efforts and seek refuge elsewhere. The storm had forced their hand, and the time for action was now. Every colonist knew their role, and every moment was spent preparing for the worst. The storm was coming, and with it, the unknown forces that lay beyond the gateway. The ritual had saved them once before, but Elia knew that they might need to modify it to face the new threats. The ancient texts held the key, but time was running out. The calm before the storm was a time of reflection and fear. Every colonist knew that the coming hours would determine their fate, and there was nothing left to do but wait. The storm was a force of nature unlike anything they had faced before. It tested the colony's defenses and the resolve of every colonist. But this was only the beginning. The gateway was reacting to the storm, drawing power from the chaos around it. The colonists could only watch in awe and fear as the gateway's energy grew more intense, knowing that something was about to happen. The gateway had opened a door to something far more terrifying than they had imagined. The shadowy figures were the harbingers of a new danger, one that threatened to consume everything in its path. The battle for the colony had begun in earnest. The shadowy figures were powerful and relentless, but the colonists fought with everything they had, refusing to give in to fear. Elia knew that time was running out. The countermeasure she had devised was risky, but it was their best chance to weaken the shadowy figures and give the colonists a fighting chance. The device worked, its energy disrupting the shadowy figures and giving the colonists a momentary advantage. But the battle was far from over, and the stakes had never been higher. The tide had turned, and for the first time, the colonists felt the glimmer of victory. But they knew that the battle was not yet won, and the cost of survival was still to be paid. The shadowy figures were not done yet. Their final assault was the last, desperate bid to destroy the colony, and the colonists knew that this would be the ultimate test of their strength. Elia's sacrifice was the colony's last hope. She knew that the cost of survival was high, but she was willing to pay it to protect those she cared about. The battle was over, and the colony had survived. But the cost had been great, and the memory of those who had sacrificed everything would never be forgotten. The colony was scarred but not broken. The rebuilding process had begun, and with it came the promise of a new beginning. The colonists knew that they could face whatever challenges lay ahead, as long as they stood together. Elia's legacy would live on in the colony she helped to save. Her sacrifice was a reminder of the power of knowledge and the courage it takes to protect it. The colonists would continue their journey, guided by her wisdom and her memory.